What's going on, my peeps? I'm Shizwack, back with another Should I Buy It episode, where I take a game on your request, break it down, rip it apart, and give you everything you need to know to make a sound decision on that purchase. Let me waste my money so you don't have to. Today, Grim Dawn. Between 25 and 30 bucks, this is a beast action RPG from Crate Entertainment. A little indie group, I think of about 9 guys, and they have made a monster of a game. This game is fantastic. I'm going to go out and say that right away. Buy it. It's awesome. Do you like action RPGs? You're going to love it. So, this is a follow-up video. I did do a kind of a Grim Dawn early access video back when there was half as much content, and this is kind of an update. I want to just bring you guys up to speed before the release comes. So this video will be good for the final release. I've done an entire playthrough, cleared the entire game, and it's just been goddamn fantastic. Had me engrossed. I just want to start off with a couple of questions you action RPGers might have. How big is the world? How many classes are there? And how does it compare to the big ones like Diablo 3 or Path of Exile? So first, the world, it's handcrafted, not randomly generated. It's huge, it's awesome, it's fun to explore, and it, like size-wise, I guess, it holds right up with the others, if not bigger. It's fucking huge, and there's more to come. Classes. There's 6 classes. There's so much customization when it comes to classes. I'll just have to get into that later and show you a bit about it in the skill windows. But it's 6 base classes, and then you can cross-class, mix them up, mix the skill trees up, and then there's the whole devotion tree, the devotion system, which I'll get into later. And the final question, how does it compare to Diablo 3 or Path of Exile? It holds up, guys. If you like those games, you'll love this one. It's enormous. It's going to give you tons and tons of hours to play with. So, there it is. 3 big questions. Here we are at the main menu. So when you create a character in Grim Dawn, you are actually creating a classless hero, and then you kind of figure out what you want to be as you get a level or 2 in there. Could be a level, could be 10. I don't quite remember, but that's how it works. You choose your class at a certain level early in the game. You'll see we have main campaign, custom game, which is still locked out. I'm going to assume that that will be unlocked later on release. Single player, multiplayer, host multiplayer, so there's internet games. You could just create a game with a password, get your friends to join. It works every time so far. And then difficulties, once you beat it on normal, you'll unlock veteran and elite, and later ultimate. So tons of difficulties to play with, tons of replay. It's good. It's good. Give you through the options here quickly. We have, our general options, lots to play with. Video, tons of customization here. If you have a low-end system, you'll still be able to play this game nicely. And network, of course. So I'm going to join right in here. No, there shouldn't be any spoilers in this video. I'm going to start right in Devil's Crossing, which is the beginning town, and show you what's what. Let's rock and roll. Here we go. So the basic isometric top-down view. You can kind of swing the camera. You can zoom in and out, right? There's our beautiful mini-map right up here. You can resize that shit, lots of customization. So I'm going to just go through the windows here quickly. We're going to start with the inventory window because it is the most common. Boom! Tons of shit to equip. We love that. We action RPGers want loot. We want lots of it. We want boots. We want chests. We want pants. We want gloves. We want necks. We want everything. Rings. So there's tons of shit to find and equip in that sense. We've got a little, might be more unfamiliar to you, we have a relics down here and medals, which are just, more items to equip. Beautiful. So here's the inventory system. Unlocked a few bags. You kind of do that as you go. As you quest through the game, you'll get quests that will unlock those bags. These are components. So components are a big part of item customization. You find components in their single forms, and then you'll see there's a fraction partial component, one of 3, and you kind of merge them up, which will give you the bigger component that is the only component, in my opinion, that's worth equipping on an item. And they don't all fit on all items. There's different types, tons of them, so that's a huge part of the game. This is some just crafting quest stuff. Dynamite for chests, and you'll find locked chests. You'll find areas, caves that need to be opened with dynamite, so you got to find dynamite in that regard. Our character sheets. So it's based on physique, cunning, spirit. Our main attributes. So physique, of course, for all you kind of wielders out there. Physical damage, health regen, health. Cunning for the roguish types. And they all apply to each class, because you're going to want to kind of level it off as you go, because you're going to find items that require physique to wear, but goddamn, like there's some spirit, like here. You need 173 physique, 291 spirit. So I had to keep that in mind and not forget about physique while I was going. All the basics. Offensive ability is a separate thing. So here's one thing about this game. There are so many mechanics that factor into gameplay. So the whole min-maxing idea is fucking hard. There's so much to look at. There's so much to take into effect. Like, just these here are resistances, and that's not even all the resistances. And on the second tab, you'll see damage per hit, character, all your basic kind of stats. Physical, physical, pierce, bleed, trauma. You have magical with your cast speed, health damage, fire modifiers, cold damage, acid damage, vitality damage, ether damage. Fire goes with burn. Burn is the DOT. Cold goes with frostburn. Frostburn's the DOT. And lightning goes with electrocute, and electrocute is the DOT. So, and these are all measured separately. You get bonuses that will jack one thing and give you, you need the points in it first. So the points in it, when I say that, I mean, for example, vitality damage 27 to 49, so your modifiers plus 47%. If you don't have that bottom line number right here, you don't have it. So this 79% ain't shit without this burn damage modifier. But I have these. I'm more instant damage, no DOTs, glass cannon style. And then pets. Yes, there's pets. There's certain classes which have pets. Defense, retaliation. Retaliation's a whole other system. Like I said, min-maxing and learning this game is tough. It does not hold your hand. It's complicated. It's a lot to take in, but it will still appeal to, noobs, kind of casual players, and then vets who want to really get deep into the systems on min-maxing and how everything works. So there's the character sheet. Let's jump right into the classes. Soldier, Demolitionist, Occultist, Nightblade, Arcanist, Shaman. Whoa! And, they each have their own unique tree. Looks something like this. And then as you go, you can cross-class. So I could literally take another one of these and start speccing down their tree to start mixing other skills into the bar. This bottom bar is the only bar you can't respec. Everything else you can. You can remove all these points, move them around. You can break a character. Whether you're putting into the wrong attribute, which I love. I love that you can break characters in this. That reminds me of the hardcore D2 days. The days where you really had to think about what you were doing before you start just fucking slapping points into everything. So, it's awesome for the hardcore. Then you have Devotion. Devotion is a whole other beast of a system. It's where you start grabbing these custom skills. It's almost like the rune effects in Diablo 3, where you can apply them to skills and have them affect other skills. So, depending on the constellations, and there's different, areas, because these are affinities. And to unlock, let's say, this Lionhead constellation, I need one yellow affinity going, and I have none, so I can't spec into there yet. So I can either grab it usually from here to get started at the crossroads, and that will kind of open it up. You got to be very careful because there's only 50 of these points. These points are gathered from shrines. Shrines are just little shrines that you find in the world, and you have to either donate something to them. They'll tell you exactly what to give. It's usually a component of sorts or a crafting material. Or you'll just have to fight some monsters and usually a named boss with it, and then you get 1 devotion point per shrine. So there's 28 shrines in normal difficulty, and I do believe you just grab the rest of the shrines in the next difficulty. Some of these constellations have the red stars or the pink stars, which are a skill. If they don't have the pink star, they don't have a skill, and you can just use the constellation as a bonus. I know this is a lot to take in, but bear with me here. For example, on the Imp, I was speccing through because it worked well for my magic, and all these stars do different things, right? My final red star in the constellation is Ether Fire, 15% chance on attack, and it just kind of blasts some fire at the enemy's feet, which sits there for 3 seconds. You level up these. You have to equip them to a skill. Here I have it equipped to Trozen Sky Shard. you have to equip them to level them. Some of them can equip on passives. Some of them have to equip on active abilities. It's a beast of a system. If you want to really get into these outer constellations, which are these super powerful ones, you kind of have to plan backwards, and you have to plan carefully. It's not very intuitive, but it is very deep and does allow for a great deal of customization and replayability and just getting that class perfect, which we all love. And I'll just mention here that the square skills are your active skills, and then your round ones are your passive, and we all kind of know what that means. So you'll see I am level 49, and I only have these few skills on my bar. That's because that's all I need right now. I could load this up because there's items that grant skills, there's as I unlock skills, but this is all I need right now. I found a build that works perfect for me, and this is what I use, and it's a great rotation. Alright, so the environments are beautiful. You see, I'm just, it's kind of a unique look. It's not like fucking amazing graphics, but it's grim. I mean, it's just so dark, which I love. I needed an action RPG like that. After Diablo 3 kind of failed me in that respect and had to do it in an expansion, I was so refreshed to see this game. There's also a beautiful day and night cycle, which is great. Gives you some extra atmosphere, right? So I'm just going to give you a quick tour of the prison here because it'll give you an idea of some of the mechanics in the game. So you got your basic vendors, you know, which you'd sell shit to. Everything's measured in iron bits. That's your gold per se. This is a rift gate, which gets you to the map, which I will show you in a minute, like a waypoint of sorts. And then you have your inventor in here, which you're going to use to remove components. Like this has a component, and you can salvage either the item or the component, one or the other being destroyed. It costs you a bit of gold at the same time. You can also dismantle items which require dynamites, which can give you components. It's like salvaging or breaking down. Look at it like that. And we have a bounty table, of course. There's a rep system, which I will show you. So, factions, rep. Fucking right, man. Factions and rep in an action RPG, you know it. All different kinds. And, you know, it's basic. The ones you're friended with, you're going to have neutral, friendly, respected, honored. This will unlock tabs at vendors. You can buy mats, blueprints for crafting. There's quests that are going to unlock. It's not super easy to grind through reps, so you're going to have to go back, and that's kind of the replayability and making you come back. And because max level is 85. So people are going to say, well, once I get to 85, what am I going to do? There's tons. Faction is actually worth grinding in this game. You're going to unlock all kinds of cool shit. Ones you are hostile with, you're going to get extra spawns, additional hero spawns, so that's going to give you named bosses which drop even better items, and there's a nice backstory to every one of them. Some of them you end up with, some of them you don't, some of them you actually go into the hostile territory, where some you get respected. You got to make choices in this game. Crafting. These are all based on blueprints. I got all of these recipes from blueprints that I found. You take the item, it's got random stats depending on what it is. Sometimes it'll give you, you know, here's a set item, which it has a foundation of the stats it'll have, and then everything else will be random. It's a great system. It works very well. The bank, you know, you have item transfer. These are just set items that I hold on to, except for this, which is pretty much the only legendary I have found thus far. Your characters will share this tab. You can unlock more. In this one, it gets quite expensive. Like this here is 50,000. Let's do it. Why not? I have some bits to blow. Oh, that sounds bad. Bits to blow. Come on, shiz. Here's my completed components. Everything that I have merged these together with this fancy button here, which does kind of an auto merge for you. And I'm saving them up. And these are going to go on my later items that I find, and they'll be more permanent on my character. I just want options, and they all do different things. All kinds of unique shit. Some are super rare, some are not so rare. All kinds. Here's the respecking dude. Alright, so it's going to cost you bits. You can't respec this bar, but you can respec all this. Refund them, it just costs you some iron bits as you go. You can respec the devotion points, but you need some, you know, iron bits and ether crystals. So ether crystals are right here. And they're used for crafting as well. They're used for some shrines. All of these NPCs have a bit to say. It's all text-based. There's no voice in this game. I mean, there are, you know, callouts and that kind of shit, and you'll get some recorded voices, but all in all, when you're speaking to an NPC, you're going to have to just read. And the writing is fantastic. This is a quartermaster here, which gives you, of course, rep items, blueprints. And that's pretty well the opening settlement. There's a few settlements, and they're all pretty much the same. They offer the same services, just different rep. So that will depend on if when you're buying potions or anything else, you want to go to the one that you're highest rep with. The world. It's huge. It is huge. So I'm going to show you. This is the beginning area, and this takes a long time to explore. There is tons. All of this explorable, handcrafted. And not only, this is just the surface. There are enormous dungeons in Grim Dawn as well. Huge caves. All kinds of fun shit to explore underground, and it's its whole other world in itself. Here's the world map with waypoints and shrines that I've discovered. And this is just what they're releasing in February. And this, look at this. Look at all this empty space. You know they're working. You know they're going to keep working on this shit. These guys are dedicated. When you finish the game, they leave a lot open, which kind of just immediately hints at, yeah, there'll be more, stay tuned, and they will. Like, these guys are persistent. They're always putting out updates, content. They're so good at keeping the community informed on what's going on. The Steps of Torment. You have two areas in this game, which are kind of like, let's think, rifts from D3. So these are areas, you could basically cast portals, these, anywhere you go. Anywhere. And they give you cast as many as you want, and that's basically your respawn point. If you die, you can go right back to that portal. It'll stay there till you cast another portal. Now, there are two areas in this game, being the Steps of Torment and the Bastion of Chaos, that you can't cast portals in. You basically need a skeleton key to get in, first of all, which are made of some rare components that you have to craft. They're about 10,000 bits just to craft one, and that will just be used once. And it's basically loaded with named mobs, tough-ass mobs. You die, you're done, and you have to start over, craft another key. And that right there, it's a great piece of replayability. To jump in with your friends and do like Steps of Torment runs. It provides that challenge that you want in these games later on. Alright, so here's like level 1, and you basically need to get, first you gotta make it to the door, and I think mobs are a little tougher down here. Yeah, more my level. Level 50. Maging it up. So you see that little swirly, this? That is through my devotion tree. It's just a kind of a DOT AoE kind of thing. Love this build. I'm so pleased with it. There's secret areas in these dungeons too, so you'll find like doorways on the sides or you'll pull a torch or crack a wall and you can go into the secret area with cool little chests or a named boss, and those are all over the place. You really have to look for them. You're going to see on the bottom there, my health has that yellow overlay. We all know how health works. This has an auto regen system, like most action RPGs, but this one is awesome because it has Constitution. So you have your straight up health, and then you have Constitution, which is this yellow overlay. Constitution comes into effect as you use your auto heal, which you go outside of combat, let a few seconds pass, and it'll go back up, but it borrows from that Constitution bar. And when that Constitution bar, every time it borrows, Constitution bar gets lower, and when that Constitution bar runs out, you are dead. Or, I shouldn't say you're dead, but pretty close to it, because your health bar won't regen. So you see as health goes back up, Constitution goes down. Energy's pretty straightforward. Use it up, regen's back up. My spirit's so goddamn high, I do not really have a problem with that right now. And your DPS in your character window is all based on your left and right clicks. So, that's another thing you gotta learn. It's just, don't let it deceive you. So, you'll see here, damage per second, based on, let me just take care of these motherfuckers. your left mouse button and right mouse button abilities. To equip skills on the bar, you're just going to right click and select the skill you want there, whether it's potions or skills that are coming off of items. Like you'll have an item that just gives you a unique ability. If it's a castable ability, you're going to have to place it on your bar that way. There's the name, dude. I just chew him up. You don't stand a chance. That's a shrine. Okay, so it's a restored shrine. It's just, you know, it looks like a shrine. Nothing really, don't really have to show you that, but you'll find them, you'll kind of see them, they'll appear on your mini-map, and that'll give you the hint that there's a shrine nearby and you're going to want to go searching for it. That's why you'll want to search every area of this game, because those shrines, the devotion points, and devotion points are amazing. Here's a chest that requires dynamite. This will take 1 dynamite to open and reveal what's inside. Done. I love those. So never go dungeon delving without a few sticks of dynamite. There you go. Just an idea of how difficult this can be. That guy was level 54. And when you die, you lose XP, and you can reclaim it, a bit of it. Not all of it, but some of it. And this, my friends, is a door to, this is called the Gates of Anguish in this case, but there's 2 of these in the game. Like I said, you need a skeleton key to craft and get in there. And once you go beyond those doors, you better get in there quick, because they will close, and you will lose it. You gotta get through. This game's hardcore. Doesn't hold your hand. Doesn't fucking care how hard you're finding it. It's gonna keep challenging you. So once you get in there, you can start kind of exploring, going down and down and down, and getting harder and harder and harder. But if you die, you're done. And that is the Steps of Torment Rift or Challenge or whatever you may want to call it. And of course, you know, there's quests as you go. You'll pick up, these are just bounties, which I get it all based around faction, but the quests are, like I said, awesome to read. I read everything in this game, all kinds of lore books that you find, you know, tons of that, all these quests. They're actually quite interesting. The story is awesome. I enjoyed it. I mean, some of it's kind of typical, but all in all, fun to read, fun to quest, fun to explore. And there it is, guys. Grim Dawn. I know it says early access still, but this game is out in a month. Crate has made the official announcement that all content is complete, and they are just polishing it at this point. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to do my best to answer them. I want to say thank you to my buddy Vecna. He has over 300 hours in this game right now. He helped me a lot. He answered a lot of my questions, so thanks to him. And there you go, guys. Grim Dawn. Hope this one helped. Another should I buy it in the bag. You'll have lots of fun with it. I promise. I promise. That's a promise. That's a shiz guarantee. Anyway, I will talk to you soon. Pet your cats. Pet your dogs. I'm Shizwack, and I'm out. Peace.